Thank you so much for that introduction, and I apologize for coming a little late. My calendar invite said 2 o'clock. Somebody changed the time. I broke speed records getting here, and a little out of breath, but I do so glad to be here, and I thank you for that wonderful, beautiful introduction. I'm just really excited when I heard about this conference, and I want to thank MSDE and Maya for organizing this and putting it together and bringing us all together. And, I can't mention Maya without recognizing the great leadership that DJ Bolger and Simone Gibson bring to this effort. And I can't think about Simone without thinking about Morgan State University, because it's a partnership with College Park to create MILES. And I think this has already been mentioned today, but I'm just so enormously impressed by what happened with their accreditation with the International Dyslexia Association. Morgan State was the first HBCU to get that designation. I think the only one in the state of Maryland. So I think Dean Prime is here, I believe. Yes. Where is he? Oh, yes, there you are. So just congratulate you and your colleagues. And it's so relevant for what we're talking about today. So hats off to you. And let's give her another round of applause. So, as some of you may know, no reason why you should, but some of you may know that I'm a mathematician. Grew up became a professional mathematician, enjoyed 35 years on the math faculty here at the University of Maryland. But even being a mathematician, I want you to know that I have consistently said literacy is job one in education. Because you can't learn mathematics or any other subject if you can't read and understand what you've read. So given the importance of literacy, how are we doing as a state in preparing our students to be proficient readers? I think we have to admit we are not where we ought to be. While we've made some improvements in our 2024 relative ranking on the NAEP scores, our students perform at about the national level average, and only 30% are rated as proficient readers. For the wealthiest state in the Union, striving to be a leader in the knowledge economy, this can't be seen as acceptable. Consistent with our hopes for Maryland's economic future, the blueprint for Maryland's future is premised on Maryland's pre-K through 12 system performing as well overall as the best performing systems in the world, not just in the United States. Clearly, we have a long way to go to achieve this goal, and literacy is the place to start. As an intermediate step, MSDE, and I'm very pleased about this, has set a goal of Maryland ranking among the top 10 in NAEP literacy scores by 2027. Last time I checked, this is 2025. That's not far away, so we got a lot of work to do. What excites me about this moment and this summit is that I believe the stars have aligned to make this top 10 goal and much, much more possible. Just think about it. MSD and AIB, the Accountability and Implementation Board on which I serve, have locked arms in many areas, but they've locked arms in declaring literacy as a top priority for the blueprint implementation. MSD and AIB have partnered with Maya to elevate and prioritize literacy and equity for every student in Maryland. Working with MILE, we've developed a consistent statewide policy in our approach to literacy instruction. Namely, across the state, we are implementing evidence-based practices known as structured literacy, while giving teachers agency to practice the art of teaching by meeting students where they are. And we have in this room representatives of the professionals who can make all of this happen in the classroom. What an opportunity we have been given. Working together, what a legacy we can create. Let me add a few words about the critical roles various groups of you here today must play if we are to be successful. We have superintendents who must hire talented and dedicated school leaders and hold them accountable for meeting literacy and other goals. We have school principals who must serve as instructional leaders, fostering school-wide cultures promoting literacy and helping teachers and parents understand why literacy is job one. Why getting and keeping students on track in reading and writing is so important, and providing intermediate interventions when they're not. We have higher education leaders who must prepare our next generation of teachers and ensure these future teachers are trained in the latest research-based pedagogy on the science of reading and are equipped with the skills necessary to enable all students and different types of learners to succeed. What's critically important here is that our teacher education programs work in partnership with their district and school partners to build strong teacher induction programs with feedback loops for continuous improvement of our teacher preparation programs. The bottom line is that our teachers must be well prepared to teach all students how to read and how to comprehend what they read. This requires excellent pre-service preparation, in-service professional development, and ongoing support from fellow teachers and experienced coaches. Earlier I mentioned the Blueprint for Maryland's Future. As I'm sure you are all aware, the blueprint is built on 5 pillars and calls for significant systemic change in Maryland's pre-K through 12 system. And it calls for an infusion of billions of new dollars over a 10-year implementation period. Billions of dollars. With such a significant investment, the state's and public expectations for the blueprint, once it's fully implemented, are extremely high, as they should be. As I noted, the goal is for our system to perform as well for our students as the best performing system in the world do for theirs. Maryland becoming a top performer in literacy is a key to achieving this goal. In fact, I would say it's a necessary condition because literacy plays an essential role throughout the blueprint. For example, Pillar 1 is about early childhood education. The blueprint is going to greatly expand access to high-quality early childhood education, making it possible for all low-income students to have free, high-quality, full-day preschool as a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. So we're going to see a great increase in the number of children coming to kindergarten ready to learn and ready to learn to read. Pillar 2, high quality and diverse teachers, leaders. That's what Pillar 2 is about. The blueprint is making a huge investment in our teachers, providing them much better compensation and classroom autonomy. All intended to ensure we have ample numbers of well-prepared and well-equipped teachers to, among other things, teach every student reading and writing using evidence-based strategies. Pillar three, college and career readiness. Sets the expectation that students demonstrate college and career readiness in reading and mathematics by the end of the 10th grade. We're setting a high bar and offering personalized support where needed. No more social promotion, no more lost potential. Pillar 4, make resources for increase resources for students who need them most. This is a targeted investment in the blueprint to schools serving high concentrations of poverty, providing additional resources for English learners and students with disabilities, including tutors for literacy and math, and in-school and after-school enrichment programs. Equity is at the heart of the blueprint, and we are committed to lifting all students, especially those faced with challenging personal circumstances. Let me offer a few concluding thoughts. Success with the blueprint will require systemic change. No single classroom, no one district, no teacher prep program can do this alone. We need to work together to make sure every student has access to high-quality teachers and effective instructional practices. This summit sets the stage for the work we must do. I hope we can emerge from this summit committed to working collaboratively, utilizing data in decision-making, setting high expectations for ourselves and our partners, and always keeping student success as our driving motivation. Throughout today and tomorrow, I urge you to think boldly, think systemically, and think collaboratively. Finally, let me emphasize our approach to literacy is not just about decoding words on a page. It's about giving students the tools to understand, to communicate, to participate, and to become lifelong learners. It's about ensuring that a student in West Baltimore, on the Eastern Shore, or in Western Maryland, or anywhere else in Maryland, can access the promise of a world-class education. And it's about honoring the core belief that every child can learn to read and write at high levels if we provide the high-quality instruction, support, and opportunities they deserve. We, those of us in this room and those we represent, have been granted an incredible opportunity and privilege, one that comes to very, very few. Because of the blueprint, working together, we can significantly elevate the literacy and education levels of Maryland's children, now and for generations to come. What a legacy that would be. A quote from John Fitzgerald Kennedy seems very appropriate to me at this moment in Maryland, with our rare and precious opportunity to advance the education level of our children. If not now, when? If not us, who? Thank you very much.